Happy Saturday, family. What's going on, man? Welcome into the show. Today is a beautiful day. Don't know what the temperature is. I'd imagine it's a cool 74-ish, 75-ish degrees. It feels amazing out here. I'm in my local park, military park, to be exact. And just enjoying this day, man. But today I want to talk about brand names. Brand names. Now, for those that have visited this channel, or if this is your first time, I go by the name of Trap Vision 3D if this is your first time. And I am a watch collector. I enjoy the hobby. It's a passion of mine, just like some of you guys. But I do know that periodically you will have professional collectors. You will have, there's so many different people here, and that's what makes this whole watch community very unique, very niche to be exact. And for those that think that, when it comes to watch collecting, it's not as big as you think it is. It's still sort of small, but I've been around a number of watch collectors. I've been to a few events. The most events I've ever been to were Invicta events, whether they were hosted by the actual company or by an enthusiast or somebody just had a passion and love for the brand. But today I want to, just kind of bend your ear, man. I'm not coming as this is my final thought on brand names, because I don't know if you guys saw the title or not, which I do appreciate you guys just following through, because sometimes you see that I just dropped a video and you guys come over and watch. I appreciate that, really do. But I want to talk about what brand names mean to us, man, and I'm no stranger to this. I've read through so many comments. I can't even count the amount of conversations I've had with either watchmakers, enthusiasts, people that are just getting into the whole watch collecting thing. But one thing I do know, the way I was brought up, brand names they do mean a lot. Case in point, if you see, I have on a New Era hat, I have on Oakley glasses, I have on my Adidas t-shirt, and I have a Cincinnati watch on. The Cincinnati, this is a field watch. And we'll talk about this. I have a number of watches here that we're going to jump into here momentarily. So brands, when I was coming up, Jordan was number one. Nike. Nike was number one, and then Jordan comes along, and it's like, man, it's crazy. So if you have this hierarchy of what brands are the most important in your neighborhood, or hood, if you will, Nike's number one. That's king. Now, back in the day, we had Dada's, we had K-Swiss, you had Kids. There's a number of brands, but you fall into a particular category. So if you come to school day one and you got on a pair of Nikes, some Air Force Ones, or you got a pair of Jordans on, or a pair of Flights, oh yeah, you up in the upper echelon. If you got on some shell-toe Adidas, you was more considered hip-hop, old school. They was like, man, you know what I'm saying, you still in there. Reebok at the time was popping, you know what I'm saying? When they brought the pumps out, oh man, boy, everybody had that. And then, of course, LA Gear. LA Gear was major, man, with the lights and everything. It didn't work out too many times with the people that was on, I'm going to call them street pharmacists, running from the police, and your lights are shining and police can track you. Anyway, now here's the crazy thing is if you wore anything less than that, you had the LA Gear boots, but if you came out with Pro Wings, oh my gosh, XJ900s, done for. Now, I get some people will never like XJ900. Some people are like, what the heck is that? Just know that it was a generic shoe. And you think about brand names versus generic. What do we know about how name brands and generics differ? So if you are familiar with Walmart, you have Ziploc, right? But then next to your Ziploc brand, you have, Great Value. That is Walmart's version. Well, what if both of these items were made in the same factory? You have no idea. Now, we're talking watches today. That's not to say that a Rolex is made in the same, because we know, or at least we think, that Rolex is made, they have their factory, and they're going to put out their stuff. They're not going to put out anything other than that. They're not going to pull out a Boulevard or anything like that. or make Boulevard in the fact, but Boulevard's still a brand name. But Boulevard, or however you pronounce it, Bulova, does not have the same weight as a Rolex. There's not a lot of watch companies that have the same weight as a Rolex. And while we're talking brands and just the things that go along with it, what do you guys know about Swiss made versus Japanese versus American made? Because there are some companies, or at least there were some watch companies or watchmaking companies here in America. Be it Hamilton, all right, before it became a Swiss brand. What is your fixation on this? And I'm asking a serious question because I'll be honest, to tell you the truth, Swiss made did not have any bearing on my life until I started doing YouTube. And I'm gonna be honest and tell the truth. A watch, it really didn't matter. Now I do like the automatic sweep versus the quartz. Tick tick tick. Now Mega Quartz is cool because it moves just like an automatic. So my thing is, I didn't know anything about Swiss made until I came here and I saw the importance. And then I have a decision to make. Do I continue getting my NH35s or my no-name Chinese movement? I was happy with those until there was an emphasis put on the Swiss made. And I get it. I know, like, that is the hallmark. That is the top, the apex. When you have a Swiss made, that's like the Swiss knew how to put a watch together, and it was made to last you a lifetime versus some cheaper materials used in the Japanese movements or the Chinese movements or whatever was made in Malaysia. Like, it wasn't built to last. It may burn out after 5 years. It may burn out after 3. Who knows? So I get it. There is a level of quality when it comes to it, but are there Japanese brands that last a long time? I mean, Citizen owns a company. They have a movement company, the Miyota, and that's said to be a workhorse. That's said to be durable like nobody's business, and it has longevity, right? But it doesn't, like, if you had the opportunity to buy Miyota versus anything that's Swiss made, which one would you get? And hey, listen, down in the comment section, load it up. If you got multiple, I would like to know where you guys stand, because today we're about to dive into what makes one brand better than the next. Here, as a matter of fact, let's look at some watches. Okay, I got a number of watches that we're gonna cover, man. Some of this, what I'm saying, I'll give you my honest opinion on what I think these watches are and what they're not. And let's do the watch check real quick. I got my Cincinnati field watch going on, man. I really enjoy this watch. Matter of fact, here, let's talk about it real quick. Okay, so this is my Cincinnati field watch. Now, the camera lens don't do it any justice, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. The original font on it, man, and when I mean original, it has this vibe to it, man. It's sort of like it's been there for a while. It's like an ancient watch. Now, of course, this watch company isn't as old as Hamilton, right? But let me tell you something about this. Hamilton does have rich history. It is a beautiful watch. And for this Hamilton, for me, not for anybody else, it may be somebody else, but man, I'm ex-military, and I saw a lot of people that I respected wore this type of watch. They wore the 38 millimeter one, and I said, you know what, for my everyday and who I am, I have to get something that's going to appeal to me, and I got this one, but the specs don't match up to this one. Now, this does not have the history, but it brought its own. I mean, dude, you Google Cincinnati, you Google the train, you Google how Ohio even became a thing, and they infuse that. They tell a story, man. And this isn't the strap. It came on the strap. I bought this engineering bracelet off of Amazon, and it works for me. So does this watch mean that it's better than this Hamilton? When it comes to the money, this watch right here, this Hamilton, you're talking about $600. You may be able to find it like $530 on Amazon, but it's still nice. It's nice price. This one's up there. It's just around $500, but it does give you more than this Hamilton. The water resistance, the screw down crown. I mean, both are very legible. If you can see, I enjoy both of these watches. I love the track on both of these watches. Now, does this make it better than the Hamilton? Both of these are my favorites. But that's just it. I didn't buy it to get validation from anybody. I bought it because it meant something to me. I got to Cincinnati because it's an independent watchmaker. I don't know what it is, man. I love the fact that it's not a big name and it's not that far from me. I said, man, I love to support stuff like that. And they gave me something that I can enjoy and like and pass down to my children. So what was the best buy? Both of them. I enjoy both of them, but you have to choose what's best for you. Now, let me ask you this. Right now, Vostok is not a brand that's popular because, listen, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but y'all know why. But that doesn't make it any less than a good watch. You know what I'm saying? It's a durable watch. It has, you know what I'm saying, hard plastic on here for that. I mean, but, you know, aside from the dimensions, this watch is dang near indestructible. It's fully mechanical. The loom on it sucks like crazy, but it don't matter. It's a comfortable watch. I enjoy wearing this. I like wearing this watch, man. It just does it for me. And it was inexpensive. I think I spent like $76, $80 on this watch shipped to my house. No problem. It's a Commanderski. I think I said that right. And you can modify it and all. I'm not going to modify the watch. But I didn't get this watch because, hey, you know, I'm going to give props from the Vostok community. I got this because, one, this orange strap sold me. I love color. And I like field type watches. This one just did it for me. But again, considering what's going on in the world, this may not be a popular brand to get. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? But like, there's no sense to compare this watch against anything else. That's just my personal opinion. If you feel different, please drop it in the comment. You know, like, nah, I don't agree with you, man. I think you can compare and do the best you can to get a watch that is similar to this, that has sort of the same build. Now, of course, it's not stainless steel. It's like brass. But again, man, I mean, y'all, for what this watch is worth to me with the quirky stem, which I almost sent this watch back because, like, let me just show you. Can y'all see the movement? This thing has a lot of play to it. Y'all see that? I thought it was broke. I said, this thing, man, I'm about to give it back. And if it wasn't, yeah, the date ain't set. That's another part because I let the watch go out of power today, the 2nd, and I didn't feel like going through the whole process. That's the one downside to this watch. You know what I'm saying? So if I catch it on the right day, that's when I'll put it up. If I catch it on the right day. Casio. Come on now. This is a Casio that most people may not wear, like, because what is said on YouTube, that's the other thing too, is you guys ever heard of getting Team Jordan versus Retro? I was so blown away to hear that people call Team Jordans like more of the buddy version or the generic version of Jordan. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's still a name brand. It got his name on it. And of course I have children. They're like, nah, Pops, that ain't the move, man. You got to get Retro or the rest of that is crazy. So this falls in that same category. This is a Casio nonetheless, but it's not a popular brand. I didn't get this because somebody on YouTube said, hey, that's where you need to get this. You need to get the calculator or like whatever. I got this to work out in. It was at the right price. I think I paid like $29, $30 for this watch. And the resin band, I mean, it has the characteristics. It's pretty solid. Keep good time. And it got the digital and analog feature on it. I said, this is perfect. The light suck like a lot of Casio. The light suck, but that's just a characteristic. It's nostalgic for me. And again, I didn't get this watch. Come on, focus, baby. I didn't get this watch for validation. Uh-oh. Invicta. Dun, dun, dun. Most hated brand on YouTube outside of Hugh Blow. But there was one man. How many people have jumped on the bandwagon and said, hey, I can't stand it. I can't. But I'll tell you, is this watch large? Yes. But look at how many features and designs and just angles it catches so much light. It has mother of pearl. It has a pretty accurate quartz movement in it. It has function pushers like these. Man, these are crazy. This is called an X-wing. This watch, though it plays big. Hold on, let's look at it on the wrist. You see how much room that takes up? But do I care? Absolutely not. I have a cruise coming up, and I'm wearing this watch on a cruise. There are going to be hundreds of Invicta collectors out there. So let's think about this. There's millions upon millions of Invicta collectors.
God stands before you and the millions.
They will all tell you, I love the price, I love the design. It's unlike anything else on the market. And this is one thing that I applaud Invicta on. They don't care about the industry standard. But when it comes to brand names, where does that stand with you? Would you must get this? And for the life of me, I'm so sick of people comparing the Pro Diver to the Rolex Submariner. It is a homage. It is nowhere near on the quality of that watch. It's just not. This right here, this wouldn't be considered. This hasn't even been talked about that much on YouTube. You know why? Because they're focused on those watches that are homage, that may look like something else. And some people may miss out on stuff like this. Look, just look at the layers upon layers. This design. This one is a number limited. You can't even get this one. This is part of their reserve. And the only thing I've done on this is change the battery out. It's this is a classical looking piece. It's very sporty. I enjoy this watch. It's one of my favorite Invictas of all times. It just is, man. But I'd miss out on it if I fell into the normal crowd, or like what people say. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is an Aragon. This is their version of a dive watch. And you know why I like this watch? Look at the dial. That shell, look at that, man. Aquatic. It's very aquatic. It's very big. It's bold. It's loud. It's machined, in my opinion, to perfection. And then it has, look at that. I saw Rolex do this. And it just adds a layer of quality. It adds a layer of like workmanship. When we're talking about watches, when we're talking about the history of watchmaking, these things are amazing. I don't care what watch you get. Think about this. The engineering, the whole thought about a device that can record time, that will show you the time, right? And these things will last longer than us. These things, come on now. There's some watches on this planet right now that's way older than you. Way older than you. And they're still ticking. They're still going. And it just shows that, like, you know what? The ingenuity of mankind, regardless. I don't care if you were Switzerland. I don't care if you were in America. It don't matter where the watchmaker comes from. It's just the whole idea behind this. And then the creativity, man, that's the part, man. I think that sometimes we escape because the brand, you want the name, you want the validation of being it, man. But this Wing Liang engineers each one of these watches. This is a heavy piece because I think it's like a 48 to 50 millimeter timepiece. But I enjoy wearing this watch, not for validations, because I like looking down. Matter of fact, this is my favorite right here. I strapped that monster on, and look at that bracelet. That bracelet is like, I'm here, bro. You can't get rid of me. That's so satisfying, man. Just having this watch, man, is so satisfying. And I worked for this. I worked hard for this. Earlier, I mentioned Swiss made. Glycine is a company that because they're owned by Invicta, there are some people on YouTube that would discredit this. And I say, you know what's crazy? Historically speaking, this watch has been on more military people, has been infused with flight, aviation. Come on now. When I was a kid, I loved planes. I loved space. That's just me. That was just me. Star Trek, the whole nine. And this watch company has history. Though it has changed hands multiple times, it just has history. Now, this particular watch, I will say, there's two people that made me fall in love with this particular watch. That is TGV, the Urban Gentry, and then my man Dave D. This is the Golden Eye. It has sort of a rose gold or strawberry gold, and I know there's a company that, jewelry company that coined that strawberry gold, but it does. It has more of a strawberry, and the camera's not even picking it up as well. That crown is so regal and beautiful, man. This watch is juicy, man. Man, this is like one of my all-time favorites. And when it comes to Glycine, the sub, oh man, you quit playing with me. This watch, I don't care who owns the company. And this is not the original bracelet. I bought this bracelet from Amazon because I actually have 4 bracelets for this watch because it's one of my favorites. I've only had, and I haven't really reviewed it, but just know this: I enjoy this timepiece. I like the way it feels. It does. Now, it's one thing I do like. I've actually learned to like on right here on these edges. It is sort of sharp, right? I don't know what it is. For me, I know some people don't like that. I just like the feel, and you don't feel it when it's on the wrist. It's not digging in or cutting in, and it's just the right size, 42 millimeter. It takes up a lot of real estate, and I know your favorite YouTuber or content creator may say 36 to 40 is the best size, but you have to find out what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? You think about this. Look at the economy we're in right now. Not even talking politically. I'm not talking no presidents. I'm not talking, but just know that we do have a problem. We have a problem economically, and some people can't afford to get stuff, man. So what would this set you back? This watch right here is between $350 to $400. And that's just, and there was what show was it? I can't remember what show it was on, but somebody had mentioned that if you have to save money to buy a watch, you shouldn't do it. You should just be able to buy the watch. And I did not agree with that statement because, I mean, when I was coming up, my grandmother saved up to get things that she liked, things that we needed, and that was life. So once you get it, once you saved up to get your stuff, you enjoy it. Even if you just started collecting, it don't matter if you got 10,000 watches in your collection, 1,000 or 2. Or if this may be your first time, like, hey, if you was going to get into a dive watch, I don't have my Deep Blue with me, but there's a Deep Blue. Deep Blue is a great company to get into. But Glycine, if you just have to have a Swiss-made watch that is authentically Swiss, this is it right here. And it's not going to break the bank. It's just not popular because the Invicta watch company owns it. But don't let the internet fool you. This is a nice watch. Watch collecting is a personal journey. We get that. And it is, I think it's important to have certain watches in your collection when it talks about the history of watchmaking or something that, like, for example, if you have, like, German descendants, I think this would be an amazing watch for you. If you don't have German descendants, I think this would be an amazing watch for you if you dig into the history of it and to own this watch. What if you were that type of person that say, you know what, I want a watch and that's all I want is one. This is a watch that you can actually wear on your everyday. And this is the reason why I chose this colorway, is because I think this is an everyday style watch. But what if you're one of those that like, hey, I want to get the whole collection? Well, hold up. Let's look. The Havarian comes in a multiple. I think it's like 5. There's 5 colorways that you can get. 5. And then there's other watches in there, man. I think that is so. And then I don't know him like that, but I've met Adam and his idea behind the watches and what he's passionate about this brand. And the money he's getting from these watches, he's actually helping people that's been incarcerated, second chance efforts. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't go into details as to how he's helping, but I know that he is helping. You know, it's not just a company that's just here, there today, and then gone tomorrow. And I think that is one of the biggest drawbacks of micro brands or independents. I'm just sharing information with y'all. So of all the watches that I have, I enjoy every last one of them. And brand names, yes, I am guilty of falling into brand names. I'll be a hypocrite. Look at, I got on, I'm not going to say Adidas is my favorite brand, but like I got Adidas on my feet. I got it on my shirt. I got New Era, Oakley's, and I had this on, but I'm gonna throw on another watch before I get up out of here, man. But just answer me that: Is the brand name, is that the most important thing to you? Is that what's keeping you from certain watches? In this today's economy, man, we playing for keeps, man. Like, everybody don't have that kind of money to just go out and buy stuff. Some of these watches are under $500, and there are many more. There's some other companies that I am actually looking at. Swiss Watch Company is another one. Go check them out. But there's an upcoming show in New York, a wind-up show. If you guys are able to go out there, if you're in the New York area and you're able to go and you've never explored micro brands, try it. Just go out there and look. I'm not saying go buy anything. Go out there and look. Let them explain to you what they are showing. What are they doing? What is the whole story behind their brand? They'll tell you I'm telling you, they will talk to you to their horse. Ask Lorenzo. He talked himself into his voice was gone. So I appreciate you guys watching. I thank you for being here for this premiere. And if you made it this far, man, you are a trooper. I appreciate you, man. So y'all know my slogan. Into the next lightning strike, man. Y'all be blessed.